Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
There you are. Oh, hello. Good morning. Happy Monday. It's the 17th day of June. CJ Nasello, it's our daily show. And man, what another busy weekend, you know? So, not last week. Last weekend, we were at the Juneteenth celebration of freedom, and what a wonderful event. It was great to be out there. Thank you to Lee Barham and the Juneteenth Committee for letting RiverBender.com be a part of it. You'll see some reaction and just some wonderful conversation that we had on that Saturday. But, you know, after Juneteenth and last weekend and then the weekend before being the SSP Gala and the Village Dispensary grand opening, and this next weekend being the MRF and the F1 powerboat races, I'm a little worn out. I'm hoping maybe today, if the boss is, you know, listening and really wanting to be my friend, maybe a little bit of an afternoon to slip away. But that's okay. I'll get my weekend back eventually. I got 2 hours to hang out with you and have some fun. Lacy McDonald joins us in just about a couple of minutes or so. Lacy just started writing weekly historic articles for RiverBender.com, and they're wonderful. We're so glad to have her a part of the team and, you know, just really writing some great stuff. So she'll come on and fill us in on that. Then around 10 o'clock, around 10:10, we're going to be talking to Grid Solar and continuing our solar energy education segments with Ryan and Jason. Really looking forward to having those guys back in the studio. At 10:30, it's all about Grafton's music in the park. This is a wonderful thing at Grove Memorial Park in Grafton. Every Thursday night, a free concert for you and your family to go out and enjoy, and looking forward to those conversations as well. But at 9:04, here's what's happening around the River Bend. Make sure you sign up for that daily email update where you'll never miss out. You can join myself and over 70,000 people that are truly in the know each and every day of the work week and on Saturdays with Around the River Bend. We'll take you to St. Charles first in a tragic story to start our week. Authorities are investigating an apparent accidental drowning after a man was found submerged in a pond in St. Charles, Missouri on the 14th of June. The St. Charles County Police Department identified the victim as Daryl Lamont Hudson, 44, of St. Charles. Hudson, described by family members as a special needs adult, was seen by witnesses, including fishermen, entering the pond near Walnut Hill Court and never resurfacing. Multiple agencies responded to the scene, and Hudson's body was recovered by the Metro West Dive Water Rescue at approximately 8:35 a.m. The investigation into the circumstance of his death is ongoing at this time. A Glen Carbon resident is facing multiple felonies following an alleged stabbing incident with an ice pick. During a heated verbal altercation, here's what we know. Garland E. Denton, 61, was charged with 2 counts of aggravated battery. Both are Class 3 felonies. On May 21st, Denton allegedly stabbed an individual in the arm, causing a laceration. The victim sustained injuries to his bicep, his face, and his neck. Denton's criminal history includes convictions for domestic battery and robbery. A detention order was filed, keeping Denton detained as no alternative residence was available, and he poses a threat to the victim and to the community. He was indicted by a grand jury in Madison County on the 30th of May. Also in the news today, deputies from the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office conducted a traffic stop on Illinois State Highway 100 near Crawford Creek in Campsville on the 14th of June. Here's what we know. The stop led to the arrest of Kenneth Watkins, a 38-year-old man from Granite City. Now, Watkins faces charges of driving with a suspended license, attempting to destroy evidence, and possession of methamphetamine along with possession of drug paraphernalia. The arrest occurred without incident, and Watkins was transported to the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office. Now, under the Safety Act, he was booked and released with a notice to appear in court at a later date. An 18-year-old woman from Alton, Nariah G. Rhodes, has been charged with home invasion, criminal trespass to residence, and battery following a violent confrontation on the 24th of May. Rhodes allegedly broke into a residence and assaulted the victim after being arrested and released for trespassing at the same location earlier that day. Despite the state's petition to keep her detained, Rhodes was granted pretrial release under strict conditions, including a no-contact order, a ban from the property, and a home confinement except for work and for treatment. Charges are based upon probable cause, and Rhodes is presumed innocent until being proven guilty in a court of law. Also in the news today, a variety of serious criminal charges have been filed against individuals from Greene County and the surrounding areas. And here's the latest. Austin K. Williams, 26, of Carrollton, remains in custody after being charged with attempted first-degree murder and aggravated battery. Jason Christian, 19, of Root House, faces 3 counts of possession of child pornography and was released on a notice to appear. Granite B.J. Stockton, 23, of Hillview, was arrested on multiple charges, including domestic battery and possession of a stolen firearm. Other charges include domestic battery, violating an order of protection, and criminal damage to property, and all accused are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. At 9:08, that's a look at what's happening around the River Bend. Let's take a look at your weather today. Here, let me just fill you in. It's hot. There you go. Hey, temperatures are right now at 86 degrees, but with the wonderful humidity finally creeping into the region, oh, I'm trying to fake it today. It feels like 94 degrees out there. Visibility for 19 miles, Brian Trust. And today, breezy, hot, and humid with sun and some clouds. An afternoon thunderstorm potentially in 1 or 2 spots, but otherwise breezy this evening, partly cloudy and humid. You can stay up to date in real time all the time at RiverBender.com/weather. Now taking a look at air quality. Right now it's at 49, which is good. Grass is at moderate levels. Mold, ragweed are both at low levels. Tree is at moderate, and the UV index is extreme. There is a 47% chance that we see some thunderstorms today, but as stated earlier, don't get your hopes up because they'll probably just make it more humid. Temperatures reach 95 degrees today. Oh, dear God. Drop down to 74 overnight as we head into Tuesday. On Tuesday, another chance of a round of thunderstorms hitting the 618. A high of 91 on Tuesday, a low of 74. On Wednesday, a high of 92 degrees, a low of 72. No rain in the forecast. On Thursday, a high of 95, a low of 72. On Friday, a high of 94 and a low of 74 as we wrap up the week on the 21st of June, heading in to the F1 Powerboat races and the MRF. Hey, for time and temperature throughout the day, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Tom Lane. He is your local State Farm agent. And while I have you, an action-packed weekend is coming to Alton this weekend, June the 21st through the 23rd at Riverfront Park, and we'll start off with the biggin', the F1 Powerboat Racing, the world-class powerboat racing. This includes meet and greets. There's going to be tons of vendors, tons of food tents, free general viewing. Now, if you want a weekend pass, this is what I love. A weekend pass is $35. That gets you bleacher seating each day. Plus, if you're just going for one day, bleacher seats are just just $20 with VIP tickets available. Now, on the 22nd, which is Saturday, the return, of the MRF, June the 22nd at the Alton Amphitheater, featuring Larkin Poe, Tyler Bryan and the Shakedown, Fastball, and Field. General tickets are just $25 with reserved seats sitting at $40. A great weekend here in Alton and a lot of fun to be expected with a whole lot of people. You can learn more by clicking on the RiverBender.com wallpaper, which will take you right on to Great Rivers and Routes' website, where you can get ticket information for the F1 Powerboat Racing and for the MRF later this week. We'll have conversations throughout the week with some folks from the F1 Powerboat Racing and with the MRF. I'm excited for it. I know you are too, for this action-packed weekend coming to Alton with the 2024 Midwest Nationals and the Mississippi River Festival. Great time to be around here in the 618. That's a look at what's happening around the River Bend. Make sure you always sign up for that daily email update, and let's just do this. It's 9:12, but I got to tell you a funny story. So on Friday, I do the PA announcing for the River Dragons, and I was leaving, and I saw Lacy McDonald, and I was so nervous because I had all these interviews getting booked. It's been fun. I mean, it has been like I'm feeling really good about things, but getting busy. And now I just got to spend one day today, one day this week, which is probably going to be today getting organized. But I saw Lacy McDonald. And I don't know if Lacey's watching right now, but I told her, I said, hey, is there a way that you can do 9:40? Because I have a sponsored segment at 10:10, not realizing that I already booked her for 9:20. So, Lacy, I'm sorry I pushed you off another 20 minutes for no reason. But it happens. That's a case of the Saturdays, Fridays. Case of the Fridays. That's what we'll call it. Hey, let's take a look at downtown Alton, and let's see how we're looking out there. We'll come back with more of our daily show right after this on RiverBender.com.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, Free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Riverbender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Dance party going on in here. 9:16. Welcome back. Daily Show hitting you on a Monday. Hey, because I messed up, you got to start off the week with some fun every once in a while. What I wanted to do is, since we have time and we didn't get an article out yet, on Thursdays, and I got to bring the family out for this. I might bring that'd be fun. On Thursdays, the Alton Municipal Band does a wonderful concert at Riverview Park. On Sundays, they do it at Lucy Haskell's Playhouse, and I'd be remiss not to make sure that we get that information out. And I figured because we aren't going to do a best of this month, and we won't have time until really probably Halloween, we're going to just kind of keep rolling. And I wanted to make sure you heard this conversation because we kind of did it at a wonky time. This is a conversation I had with with Adam and Adam Michaels or Adam Rogers, who is just a wonderful guy, and wanted to make sure I played this conversation. It's with the Muni Band on Thursdays. Let's learn a little bit more about it right here on our daily show. Get your tickets for Scotty McCreary August the 9th at the Alton Amphitheater, metrotix.com. And all I know is that we're going to be having a good old time because, that's a fun show. You going? Hanging out?
I am not going, but maybe I should check it out.
You might have to check it out. How are we doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, always good. And honestly, the first experience I had with the Muni Band was when Heidi came in. And we were talking about it just before you came on, but it was really cool. I mean, just a nice evening over there at Riverview Park, overlooking the bluffs, everyone just enjoying and having a good old time. Families, kids, adults, senior citizens, all coming together. And to me, that's a really cool addition and something we always need to protect and just keep promoting.
It's a really nice community feel up there and at Haskell in both places. And it's neat to see all those generations come together. Those of us who grew up with the band, I remember going to the Muni Band concerts in high school and watching. And then, however many years later, here we are.
Only about 5 or 6.
Oh, yeah, just a few.
Now, when did you become really heavily involved with the municipal band?
Oh, goodness. So I joined the band in the summer between my junior and senior year at Alton High. So I guess 2007. So it's been a long time. 17 years.
Wow.
It's been a minute. Yeah.
Hey, I was just thinking back. I'm like, man, we are 3 years away from 20.
I know. And the gray hairs, I covered it up with my Muni Band hat, so you can't see the gray hairs.
Are those for sale?
Unfortunately, no. But if one of your kids gets to be the kitty conductor, I've got these to give away to the kitty conductor this year. So super excited. The folks at Logo made these for us.
They're doing some good work. I had Carly on, and I mean, we were in the same CEO class, but man, Logo's really stepping up and doing some awesome stuff.
They were fabulous to work with, super easy, and they have all of our logos and everything. It was really great.
I'll bill you guys later. With that being said, when does the season start? Has it started?
So we actually started last week. We do our concerts Thursdays and Sundays. The Riverview Park concerts Thursdays start at 7:30, and the Haskell Park concerts on Sundays start at 7. We run for 8 weeks, which conveniently fits into June and July this year. It doesn't always fit like that.
You're right.
Sometimes it's like just a little off one way or the other. Nope, this year, the way the calendar fell, right in June and July. So it made it real easy for marketing.
That's true.
Like June and July.
Well, and with that being said, too, how long does it take to really prepare for something like this? Because I know a lot of you guys pretty much all of you are very experienced and have a lot of background. Does it really only take a couple of minutes to really gel back in together?
So we actually start rehearsing in May.
No kidding.
So we start a month beforehand, we usually work on some of the things that are a little harder for the season in that May concert, and things that are new to the band. We buy new charts, new music every year, and we practice those in May, so that way we're ready for them when it comes around in June and July. And the older stuff, some of the stuff we've played 1,000 times. Well, that's really easy.
I
got to
ask you about that. So I was watching something last night just about some of the performers in Vegas and all that. They were talking about Elvis singing "Suspicious Minds" and how he just hated it by the end. He's like, "God dang, man, I got to do this again." Does it ever get old for you guys?
So we only would repeat a song every year.
Okay.
So it's not like, someone like Elvis or any popular show, he's doing that every night.
Right.
And I've always wondered about like the folks who play down at the Fox and stuff like that. You're in the musical and you tour and you do it for years. That's hard to keep fresh. We do a new program every week.
Cool.
So it's easy to keep it fresh.
That's what I was wondering, because I thought, man, that's got to get a little monotonous, Now I got to ask you, whenever you're getting set up and you're seeing everyone coming into play and really just have a nice night, what do you think about? Because I'm a really sentimental person, and I get joy out of the picture that the events paint and that people paint. What do you think about when you're in that chair and you're getting ready to start?
Well, I'm always thinking about all the little things that have to happen.
Good answer. Good answer.
Like, did the flag get put up? Did the candy get set out? Did the hat get here? Did the stands go here? But once you sit down, you're just kind of in that zone, and you can watch the sunset there on Thursday nights. That sunset over the bluff is beautiful, and the audience is facing us, but we get to face the sunset while we play, which is amazing. And then, at Haskell, you just look out at that crowd, and the Sunday crowd's always really large, and it's just, you see the people out there, you see your loved ones, your friends, all the people who you see, and it's just a nice, warm feeling that you get when you see the community out there.
And now, whenever you are rehearsing, what do rehearsals normally sound like when you start? Do you ever have like the SpongeBob thing where they're getting ready for the Super Bowl halftime show, and it's like, is mayonnaise an instrument?
It's funny, we in May, some of us haven't seen each other for a while.
Okay.
So we'll all talk to each other, and then as the season progresses, we get our folders when we walk into rehearsal, and we should be most of the time looking through, making sure we can play everything. We're working out any hard stuff that we need to work out before rehearsal starts. So it's a noisy environment before we start.
I love it.
It's funny, this year it's the strangest thing. 5 minutes before start time, every rehearsal so far, the room has fallen silent. And it's like, well, I guess we're starting.
Well, they're ready to go.
We're ready to go.
I like it.
It's inexplicable. I don't know why.
Now,
it's just the way it works.
You've been around music for so long, and I've always thought it'd be cool to be a part of something. And obviously, I don't have the talent to put together a piece of music.
It's never too late to pick up an instrument.
That's true. And but I've always wondered, what's the moment sound like when all the music starts to really come together, all the sounds start to really mix in and really hit that sweet spot? Because you're all talented, but for you guys, I'm sure there's a certain bar that you set to where all right, this is where it needs to be. What's that moment like when it really hits?
When I think back maybe to my high school days, my choir teacher used to say the feeling of ensemble.
Yeah.
The feeling where everything just kind of meshes in. And it's a really neat feeling. It's a feeling of being a part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
Together we make something bigger than each of us could be individually, and it's really a neat feeling.
Another thing I wanted to ask you is, something I think we take for granted is in terms of age and duration, because we have a pretty historic town. And I was in Georgetown, Texas. I did pro wrestling for a while when I was in Austin, and Georgetown was this beautiful town, and it was maybe about a 2-block radius wide in their district downtown, but they kept saying, "Oh, historic." We're actually historic,
right.
okay?
134 seasons. That's a long time.
Right.
And it needs to go for 134 more.
Yeah, well, but what's the pride that every member has with that? Because, it's one thing when you're doing a concert series and, it's somewhat newer, but, this is a legacy.
It's a long legacy, and everyone has stories.
Yeah.
From the people who have been in the band for a long time to the audience members who have listened to the band for a long time, they all have a memory, they all have a story of the music, of a rehearsal, of a performance. And even just this morning, right before I drove down here, I was flipping through, my social media feed, and someone posted a photo of the band from, I think it was the 40s.
Wow.
Up on that gazebo. And I just thought, that is just the coolest thing. And it's just really neat.
I do want to. I got to ask you this: were they? You guys have it figured out with the polo shirts and looking really good, but were they in their full tuxedo garb, sweating it out in the summer?
I couldn't. I can't remember. I don't have a photographic memory, so I'd have to look at it.
So, what I think's really cool is that if you guys go to the Alton Municipal Band's Facebook page, I love your flyer. I'm going to download this and put it on our community calendar.
Okay,
so we have it all.
great.
But you have it blocked out. I mean, June. Every Thursday, every Sunday going forward. But on July the 11th, this is really cool. You're at Lewis and Clark.
Yeah, so Lewis and Clark Community College does their Summerfest every summer. And last summer, they came in and advertised at our concert for the Summerfest, and we thought, what a great collaboration. And we do these collaborations with other community folks. And so they actually had it in their budget to bring us in for the close of their Summerfest that Thursday.
Can the funny story. I went to the show or concert whenever they were there promoting Summerfest.
But when Blazer was there?
Oh, yeah. So anyway, it gets better. I didn't prepare to bring a damn chair.
Oh,
okay?
no. So
I'm like, what do I do? And I'm always the awkward guy in the room. Believe it or not, even though I do the show and everyone thinks, wow, he's really good at talking to people. Afterwards, I am like the most awkward guy. So I'm like, I didn't go with friends. So I'm like, where do I stand so I don't look like a weirdo? You know, I'm just like some random guy standing there looking at people. Well, Daniel's there, and he has and I'm like, oh man, he's got a chair. I have never felt like I was more privileged to have a chair in my life. He took care of me, and Daniel, ever since then, I've just loved you, man. Come back and talk about Summerfest. I owe you.
Daniel is our sound guy this year, so he's super great. First concerts went really well, and I was like, yes, super awesome guy.
So why don't we do this? I got to take a quick break. We aren't going anywhere. We're just getting into the studio, getting settled in, and talking about Alton Municipal Band, and going to keep talking to Adam a little bit more here. Now, you can learn more about the Municipal Band by going to their Facebook page, and by just, I don't know, you could always reach out and say, hey, Adam, can I give you a donation?
We'd welcome them.
Just saying. Hey, while I have you, though, I wanted to fill you in on a new sponsor of the show, Picture This and More. You know, they're really great at what they do. Have you ever utilized?
I've never used them, but I need to.
There was one year, I always kept hearing about Picture This and More. And there was a death in the family. I wanted to make a really nice Christmas gift because I had this idea, but I didn't know how to put it together. And I went to Quint and I said, here's the items I had. I had an object, I had a picture, and that's it. And he goes, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you what, it was museum quality the way it hung up in the wall. And it looks nice. In 3 years, or 4 years, darn near, Adam, we haven't had to clean the glass. I mean, that's how museum quality is. I mean, you're getting something that you can really present in your home. Now, if you don't need that shadow box or that custom framing, just know you walk in the door, they have a plethora of art that you can take up from local artists. It's beautiful, a great piece for your home, and really ties in that daily dose of local, either online at RiverBender.com or right in your living room where you're supporting everything that Alton and the Riverbend region has to offer. You can stop by Picture This and More today, tell Quint CJ sent you over, or check them out on Facebook and see how you can start making your artwork look beautiful. If I can speak today and get paid for this job today, that's Picture This and More. We'll take a quick break. 10:30 is the time. We'll come back with more of this interview next.
Get paid to go solar.
We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready, future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, 10:33, as we roll around the corner on this Wednesday morning, the 12th day of June. Getting back to the Alton Municipal Band, Adam over here and in the chair, and I got to ask you, what's the theme for this week?
That's a novel idea. Now, don't get the wrong idea. It's
I
interesting.
I thought books.
Can I tell you that Hayner Library is actually going to be there this week, but the theme is not about books. So Hayner will be there this week talking about their summer reading program, and that's another one of those community partnership things that we really like. But the novel piece is that we're doing several kind of what we call novelty pieces. So they're funny, kind of slapstick humor, just all around good time. So we're doing that, and on top of that, so we kind of got 3 layers going. On top of that, we're going to have Susan Parton Stannard in, and she's well known in the region with her amazing voice. She's got some kind of jazz tunes going. So we've got kind of 3 layers going this week.
Nice.
And then I can sneak preview the next week. We're going to have Jared Hennings the next week.
Oh, wonderful. He's always wonderful.
Everyone loves Jared, and we love having him in to sing with us. He's got that really deep baritone voice, so super great.
All of you are going, CJ, how do I support the municipal band? And if you aren't, you're going to here in a second. I just wanted to take you go to cityofaltonil.gov because of that new domain change for security, and you're going to click on the Alton Municipal Band section here on the site. Now, let me take you to it real quick. Let me scroll down here. You see on this little, you can see it kind of. It's make a donation. You can click right on there. It takes you to the form where you can help support the municipal band. It's really easy to do. And it's just supporting the generation upon generation that have performed and really given us that couple hours of escape, especially with today's world. I mean, no matter what news station you turn on, you need a break from
You need a
life.
break from the news. Yes, you do. and I'll tell you, we use that special fund that the donation page links to purchase equipment.
Yeah.
And we've really done well being able to purchase some things that will enable us to continue for more generations.
Yeah, well, and it needs to. I mean, this is something, we always talk about the Halloween parade being one of the oldest and most continuous, the Memorial Day parade, same boat. But the municipal band, I am sure, has got to be in that same type of realm or close darn to it.
We always used to say in our concert script, one of the longest continuously running municipal bands, and I think we still say that. I don't know where we rank in there, but we even during COVID we had just a few players out in the park unannounced, kind of like the Memorial Day parade did, so that we were able to kind of continue our tradition.
That's
and so
incredible.
when we say 134 consecutive years,
you mean it.
We mean 134 consecutive years.
Well,
we have not taken a break.
And that's what I think's really cool. I mean, because I'm looking, you guys have to be very close. Because the Allentown band was 1826, but I mean, that's I mean, that's close to where you guys were. You were 1894.
18. Oh, now you're going to put me on the spot.
Oh, I got you. No, I got you taken care of. I told you about this, man. We're a team right now. 1891.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Yeah, it's on our shirts.
But that's really, I mean, you're right there with them. And I mean, that's a storied tradition. And now, what was the next concert coming up before I start asking random questions?
So we talked about how this week's That's a Novel Idea. The next week is Jared Hennings. And then we move into Children's Concert Week. We move into Patriotic Concert Week. We move into Summerfest. I mean, this just flies by. It just goes quick. And the concert after Summerfest. So Summerfest, we said, was the 11th of July. That's a Thursday. The following Sunday, we're going to bring in the Red and Black Brass Band from St. Louis, which is super great. They went viral playing out on the streets of St. Louis with their brass band songs. And so we're going to bring them in, and they're going to be featured at our concert that is that Sunday after Summerfest in July. So
really
I think that's
cool.
the 17th or something, 11th,
so
something along those lines.
Really cool. So now, take me through auditions. How do folks become a part of the band?
So every May, when we do our preseason rehearsals, we welcome anybody who wants to join in those May rehearsals. And then at the last May rehearsal, so the last Monday in May, that isn't Memorial Day, we do auditions. So we cut the rehearsal out early, and everybody who wants to join stays in. We audition the band. We do not have unlimited space.
Right.
So we audition folks. We fill in spots as we need them. And then people who don't, if we don't have a spot for them, we have a sub list. And so a lot of times we'll put those folks on the sub list. Sometimes we need a sub and sometimes we don't. You know, people get sick, things happen, and it's always great to have those folks call up and say, hey, we need somebody this week. So yeah, that's how you audition and how you make it in. And then we do that every year. So, you know, I always get a lot of people asking mid-season, how do I do this? And I say, come back in May.
Well, and let's say you just don't have enough of it in the summer. Maybe you need more Muni Band. Well, you can, because you guys are available all year round for special events.
We are. So we have a brass group, and we have a woodwind group, and you can call us, and we'll find out if we're able to go out and do that. We've done farmers market before downtown. We've done just events everywhere. The Haskell Park Santa Claus.
Yeah,
we've
that's
done,
cool.
We've done all kinds of things with those small groups throughout the season. And then we are also, we don't just do summer, CJ.
That's right.
We do a holiday concert in December. For the last few years, we've done it here at First Presbyterian Church. And we usually do that within the first couple weeks of December. So that of course is a little ways off, so that's all TBA. But we love doing that one too.
Well, and what's going forward, is the best way to stay up to date on the Facebook page?
That is the best way. I try to update that as often as possible.
Well, all I know is I kept you here for 35 minutes. And if you guys have the opportunity, Thursday nights now until the end of July, literally till the end of July, July 28th will be the last show. You can go on Thursday nights to Riverview Park. I'm going to bring I don't know if they've been out there now. I'll bring them out there. You can come hear the band, watch that breathtaking sunset over the river. And then on Sunday nights at Haskell Park, bring a picnic, your family, your friends, your friend's therapist to enjoy a fun evening of music.
I always say to I teach music for a living. I always say to the kids, bring your parents, bring your friends, bring your neighbors, bring your enemies, bring everybody.
Please, because it all counts, and it goes all the way through July. We'll keep you updated on a write-up and on RiverBender.com's community calendar. But man, just thank you for stopping by, and always appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Before we take a quick break, a little bit of business to take care of. The time's 10:41. Alton Little Theater is now starting their 91st season, and that means you need to get season tickets. They've been a great supporter of this show ever since I started. To be honest, when I called Lee Cox and said, hey, I kind of need a sponsored segment, and I don't know how well this is going to go, but
and they're great.
Wonderful people, and they are really kicking butt, taking names. Oliver is going to be the first show that we're going to be seeing to really kick off that 91st season. But how about this? You get Oliver, Rocky Horror Picture Show, the Putnam County Spelling Bee, Making God Laugh. I mean, there's so women of a certain age. I can go on. There's 15, 16 different opportunities to go to Alton Little Theater this season. Get season tickets, save big, and you can do so by going to altonlittletheater.org, altonlittletheater.org, or hang out with Lee Cox and I on the first and last Thursday of each and every month with Theater Thursday and Alton Little Theater.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
Riverbender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Nothing's gonna change what I am. I was a young troubadour when I wrote in on a song. I'll be an old troubadour when I'm gone.
Welcome back at 9:43. The King of Concerts has officially set a new record. Now listen to this. This is the first time since I believe this record's been standing for about, 50 years, since 1977 or close to it. George Strait just broke the all-time attendance record. Oh, I have it on my phone here. Hold on here. It's not. We got time. What are you doing this morning? You ain't doing it. Hold on. Hang tight. Hang loose. Hang loose. Give me about 30 seconds here. Here we go. All right, listen to this. So the Amarillo by Morning Star played to a crowd of 110,905 fans in South Texas, and it broke the all-time record set by the Grateful Dead nearly 50 years ago. In 1977, 107,019 fans packed into New Jersey's Raceway Park to catch the Dead show. George Strait bested that number by nearly 4,000 tickets on Saturday. How about that? The king of country and now the king of concerts. That's really cool. And you know what? One of the best, too. Oh, there's Lacy. Hey, Lacy's over here. Just walk into the studio here. Come on in here. You're part of the show now. Yeah, come on in here. We got time. I already lied to you once today. I was telling him I already lied to you once today. On Friday, I thought that you were going to be on at 10 o'clock. That was my disconnect. And I said, hey, can you come on at 9:50, thinking 10 o'clock. So we really could have done the segment at 9:20. So good morning. So
good morning.
I don't know if you know this, but today on this date in history, the 17th of June, the first roller coaster in America opened today.
Really?
Yeah.
Where was that?
Oh, now you're putting me to the test. Come on here, Lace.
Tell me all the details.
In Coney Island. Coney Island in Brooklyn, New York, known as the Switchback Railway. It was the brainchild of LaMarcus Thompson, and it traveled approximately 6 miles per hour.
Okay. No going up and down.
I don't think that's a very
anything like that yet.
But it cost a nickel to ride, which back in the day would have been quite the expensive toy.
You would have saved up for that.
So anyway, joining us now is the new contributor to RiverBender.com, Lacy McDonald. How has your writing experience been?
Oh, it's been really, really fun. So Sydney got in touch with me maybe a month and a half ago and asked if I would be willing to write a daily This Day in History kind of blurb for Riverbender. And I said, that sounds really fun. Let me play around with that and see what makes sense, what I can do. And I tried first to just do like a quick sentence about this day in history, whatever happened. But I realized that you need so much background information about stuff. So, I'd see something and think it sounded cool, like, oh, the Rip Van Winkle Society is meeting today at their club. And I was like, that sounds fun. But I didn't know what the Rip Van Winkle Society was. I didn't want it to be like, the Rip Van Winkle Society is dedicated to taking the vote away from women.
Right.
Something like that.
Mambly,
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, well,
oh my God, that would be brutal.
Right?
That would be.
You don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I love this. So now it gives you a little bit once a week. These are coming out.
Yes.
And so what's the idea behind how you're going to go about these? Is it one of those things where you're going to chronicleize, or is it just topics that kind of are poignant for the month? For you, how are you breaking this down?
Well, thanks for asking, CJ.
You're welcome.
So my original idea was to kind of use this to take care of some of the misconceptions around history in Alton.
Yeah.
And then I realized that was going to be really hard to do every week.
Mm-hmm.
So I can kind of save some of that stuff. One of my biggest things is everything around the Piasaw bird. I love, love, love the Piasaw bird. But the story from 1836 about Chief Watoga was made up by a short-lived college professor in 1836.
Are you serious? Hold on here. Stop the show.
Yeah.
I was told at St. Mary's in the second grade what the Piasaw bird story, and that was a lie?
It was a lie.
Oh my God. I feel cheated.
The Piasaw was a painting on the bluff. Bird and the wings were added by a professor from Shirtlift named John Russell in 1836 and printed in the Alton Telegraph and in newspapers around the country. So it's a real thing. It's just that part of it is a myth made up by a white guy in 1836.
The Telegraph embellishing again.
Well, and I mean, he brought it forward as a real thing. So
that makes
sense. It's not like all the places that ran with it were purposefully
in on the deal.
Yeah. He was a legitimate enough professor that they were like, all right, I guess this guy's knows what he's talking about. So stuff like that. So this is what I can do on the show. I can tell you my things like this.
Absolutely.
But so for the weekly, I quickly realized I needed to just focus on one topic, one theme, not one topic. So what I've been doing is going through the 1924 newspaper, and I chose 1924 because I figured 100 years ago was long enough that most of the people that were around will not be alive now to tell me that I'm doing this wrong. and it's recent enough that the newspaper was in full force. There are lots and lots of articles every day, and it's easy to read them. Like the earlier 1800s stuff, you really have to stop after a while because it's really hard to read the text. A lot of times it's not clear. So 100 years ago, and what I've literally been doing is going through the newspaper page by page, day by day, and if something seems interesting to me, I clip it and I save it, and then I do more research.
You better be thankful. You better be reading these, is what I'm getting at here. That's incredible, but it shows you because a lot of times, folks, a lot of people do this, and it's easy to gather international historical things, from the Revolutionary War because, George Washington slipped and broke his toe happened 84 times in, June.
Right.
But for this, it's a little bit more difficult because, you guys are really the source of history in the town.
Yeah, we're using our own resources, which is nice because then I do have access. I have really easy access to all of that. But I go outside of our stuff too. I list all my sources on these, and some of it is like the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, the St. Louis Argus. I've gotten stuff from the state and their archives. I called the University of Illinois a couple weeks ago for one of the articles because I couldn't find out. This is the second article I did about the beauty spots of Illinois, and I couldn't find out what the final 100 beauty spots they chose were. And I'm still not sure, but they sent me this like typed up thing from 1924 that someone had written that had some of them in it. So there are some things that I can't like take them to the full conclusion, but I'm at least trying to give everybody a little snapshot in these articles.
So the first one you wrote about, fill me in on it.
Okay, so the first one I wrote about was about Union Baptist Church honoring 3 Alton High graduates. So the original article just talked about the actual service that they were planning to honor these 3 graduates. And their names were Alexander Whitfield, Anna Margaret Cole, and Willie Alexander Young. And then I started doing more research, and they were the only 3 Black graduates of this 90-person senior class.
Oh, wow.
In Alton High, yeah. So the original article just talked about the service and the people, and then the more I looked into it, the more I found about kind of the background information. So they were the only 3. Whitfield was the valedictorian, which was a really big deal. It was the first time in 50 years that the valedictorian had been Black. And it was kind of, I mean, they had extra security at graduation because there had been some anonymous threats against that, and he was giving a speech. Alton High, gave him the floor. Like he was a big part in the convocation exercises, and they didn't have any issues, but they did plan for it in case they did. So then I did a little more research on each of the people, and my first draft had like biographies of all 3 of them. And my husband is always my first editor, and he's like, Lacy, you're just listing facts again, which is like how I like to have some facts, guys.
Right. I like it.
Yeah. So that's what this is for. We can do facts. But to kind of like tighten it into the story, I just talked about how Anna Margaret Cole's father was he was the principal at Dunbar School, which is where they went before Alton High, and their house burned down. Like he and his family built a new house. It was burned down. He got blamed for it, even though he wasn't even in town. They had
sounds like me.
You ever have an issue like this?
Yeah, the last week, pretty much.
Oh no. And he finally was acquitted later, but it was just horrific. And I'm sure racially motivated. It was not good. And then the family ended up moving away afterwards. I think he died before they moved away. But yeah, just because he was a principal and he was trying to do, the things to make life easier for his students, which, we've talked about that. Alton does good things. Alton does bad things. This was one of the bad ones. And then another part of that was that when Alexander Whitfield, who was the valedictorian, was going on the senior cruise down the Mississippi, he got kicked off because he was Black, and that was the steamship that wouldn't let him get on to go on the excursion. So,
oh God,
here's this celebrated valedictorian, and he can't even go celebrate with his class.
Right, that's just terrible.
Yeah.
Well, I also saw in here too that George Samuels, the doctor, actually has a pretty cool story too. He actually is the one that delivered Miles Davis.
Yes,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was the one that gave the invocation at the Union Baptist Church service. And yes, he delivered Miles Davis a couple years later.
Look at this, first Black pharmacist in the city of Alton, too.
Yeah, his son was.
That's really cool. I had no idea. That's awesome. Well, and now when you're writing these, what surprises you the most whenever you were putting it together? Because obviously you know the facts, and you just kind of hit on the head right there, with your husband going, all right, all you're doing is listing here. Now, how difficult or how easy is it for you to take some of that information and tell the story? Because I'm sure that gets a little bit difficult going through different articles and going, now how do I make this my own?
Yes. So one of the things that has made it a little easier, the first 2... the 2 that have come out were not necessarily the hardest, but they took the most time because I was trying to find everybody's biographies. And for all 3 of these people, they left town, lived in other places, died in other places. And I was a little disappointed because that meant I couldn't use any of them in Vintage Voices.
Oh!
They're not buried in the Alton Cemetery.
Yep, okay.
But yeah, so I was trying to get this well, what happened next and how did their lives work? And then after the first 2, when all that got edited out, it made it a lot easier for me to just focus on the story. We don't need to know what happens 50 years later. This is just a snapshot of this particular moment in time. So that has gotten way easier. Also, I have... kind of relaxed into it a little bit. I think when you're writing something every week, there's less pressure than the Hayner newsletter comes out 4 times a year, and so I need that to be exactly the way that I want it to be. Whereas for this,
well, and two, your newsletter's in print. I mean, you can't really change that one.
well, yeah, that's a good point. Like, if I have a problem in here, I can just call Sydney and be like, "Could you really edit this?" Really quickly
That's what I normally do.
Yeah. Whereas the newsletter, it's like that's how it's going to be forever.
You're done. Yeah.
But another surprising thing is that I think I'm going to write about one thing, and then it turns out I'm writing about something else. This one hasn't come out yet, but I have one that was supposed to. I decided it was going to be about the 4th of July celebrations 100 years ago and today. And I started writing it, and I found this article about a kid who was basically fireworks exploded on him, and he was very hurt. He was okay.
God.
I don't know what happened to him 50 years after, but he was okay a week later or so. But the biggest issue was a risk of infection, because this is before antibiotics were available, or even you knew what was wrong, but you couldn't do anything about it. And so it veered into a whole thing about penicillin and other people who died at the time from much less issues, much
I've
less
said
serious
it before.
issues.
I stubbed my toe. I'm dead in the 1800s. Okay, and it's not like I hate to sound funny about it, but no one realizes and takes for granted the things that would have killed us 100 years ago.
Oh my gosh! And even when they discovered penicillin, which was in 1927, it was like 20 years later before it was widely available. Because even after World War II, it wasn't. It was available, but it wasn't something you could just go to the pharmacy and get.
Well, and when we were in Rome, to hear no one touched the water forever, as they you drank vinegar, you drank wine because the water was going to kill you.
Kids were drinking beer because that was safer than water.
I was just thinking, could you imagine drinking vinegar though? I mean, no wonder everyone was so damn hateful. Yeah, I mean, hey, we're rolling around top of the hour. Lacy isn't going anywhere though. The time's 9:58, and we're coming back on to the 17th day of June after a quick little pause. And while I have you, are you looking for a fresh start on the road to recovery? A life free from addiction's possible, and it starts at Centerstone. Centerstone's that national leader in mental health and substance use disorder treatment for people of all ages, with that commitment to delivering care that truly changes people's lives. They're dedicated clinicians, if I could speak today, use evidence-based practices and their treatment programs. So that means you're getting something that's tailor-made for you. There's so many unknowns on that road to recovery, but you'll know that Centerstone's there for you every step of the way. Addiction can happen to anybody, but the good thing is, so can recovery. So start working toward that today by visiting recoverwithus.org. That's recoverwithus.org, or by calling 1-877-HOPE-123.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Welcome back, 10:03, as we have Lacy McDonald in studio. 100 years ago, Alton's beauty spots wanted. All right, now fill me in on this, okay? Because you talked about beauty spots, and I was getting confused, but it doesn't take much. So when I think of beauty spots, I think of something that kind of looks a little bit rougher, but still beautiful. This is probably not it.
Oh. I don't know, because we're talking about the definition from 100 years ago. Oh. So who even knows what has changed in language?
What defines beauty 100 years ago?
Well,
you know,
I could do an article on that. Maybe I will.
That would be I'm telling. This is why we need the segment every week.
Yeah, help me brainstorm. Because I could do things like look at ads for the clothing that was being sold, the hairstyles.
Well, I think that's why I love this show or love doing this, is because it humanizes everything. Mm-hmm. Because the partners or the collaboration and participation is what keeps everything going, and God, to have more of this is wonderful. So beauty spots are what we're talking about, but not those. That article comes out when it comes out. This is about landmarks or nature, natural resources.
So I didn't even realize this, but with state parks in Illinois, when they were first founded, the focus was on history more than natural beauty. I know. I think, State Park, you go there, you hike, you appreciate the natural wonders.
Like the Teddy Roosevelt thing.
Yeah. But no, the first state park in Illinois was in 1908, and it was Fort Massac, M-A-S-S-A-C, in southern Illinois. And then Starved Rock was the second one in 1911, but that wasn't because it was beautiful. That had to do with the history, and I don't remember right now, but there's a link to all of this in the article, all the history of the early parks. But yeah, the focus was history. And so in 1920, the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign created an art extension committee, and the chairman was Laredo Taft. He was a sculptor, and he's the one who created the Alma Mater statue, which is the really famous one at the University of Illinois. And an Alton citizen, Catherine V. Dickinson, was on the committee. She was a music teacher here, and the whole point of the committee was to help Illinois citizens see beauty in Illinois. They had a tour every year. The theme was See Illinois First, so people were traveling in Illinois, and which is kind of cool because it's kind of like an early version of tourism. Yeah. And this was when there were only about 5 state parks, and so they decided to highlight 100 beauty spots in Illinois. And so this article is about Catherine V. Dickinson encouraging people in Alton to take photos, submit them to be part of this essentially contest, because then the photos were going to stay at the University of Illinois forever, and the spots would be put on maps. So when people were traveling, and the automobile was really new in this time period, so people were buying maps that would have these kind of, I don't want to say roadside attractions, but off the beaten path places on the maps.
Were state parks, were they funded by states at that point in time, or was the language different then? Because I'm sure that there's always a lot of developments when it comes to establishing. I mean, because no one heard of a state park before. I'm sure whenever they're doing all this, and I didn't know if it have any correlation with funding. Is that why it was all historic? Because that always fascinates me too. Is when did the government funding come in, or the government real responsibility come into play when it came to national and state parks? Because I'm sure it has to have had altered throughout the years.
Yeah, I'm sure that you're right. I
wouldn't go that far.
I'm sure that you're right about this very specific thing, CJ.
Mark it down. 10:07.
From what I understand, a lot of these were funded by the state, but there were also local initiatives that were part of it. I know with Pierre Marquette State Park, which was called something different in its early years, but that was the early 1930s. Some of the money was raised by people that lived around here, and then the state contributed as well. So they were state parks, and I think like with Cahokia Mounds, that was initially a state park, and then it became a national park, and so then kind of the ownership changes. So I think this is around the time when people were kind of noticing that, and you talked about Teddy Roosevelt. I mean, there was a huge push to appreciate the natural beauty in the United States, and I'm sure that filtered down to the state level. But yeah, even with the places that I was like, oh, that would have been valuable because it's so beautiful.
Right.
That's not necessarily why they were chosen at first.
That's interesting. Well, and Lacy, seriously, that's why I'm so glad that you're doing these articles, because they're really fascinating pieces, and it brings you back to the time, because we always look back on history, and I think the wrong way as people. We look back at it from a present day standpoint.
Yes.
And we don't go back and think about all of the other nuances, like the automobile being developed in tourism for the first time, and how do you get the word out, and to be able to really define a beauty spot or use that as really your first ever taste of Enjoy Illinois is really what it was. That's pretty darn cool, and that Alton was always a player in that kind of the beauty of the state too is really unique too.
Yes, yeah, and you kind of see how individual people or groups of people helped form all of our understandings of Illinois state parks. I mean, that kind of thing, because it was individual people that were behind a lot of this to kind of make it a thing that we all understood as just, that's part of our state history. Like, no, like they were on the ground making it happen. And it's been really interesting because I'm like living in 1924 right now.
Yeah.
And so I'll read things where it's not that I had like this specific misconception that I thought anything about, but like the roads weren't paved. So I'm seeing all these like fundraisers to get cinders to cinder the roads. And you're like, oh, that's right. Not only were they not paved, they were dirt. And they were just like, there's one automobile for every 10 Altonians in this time period. So people were just starting to be drivers, essentially. And so I'll talk about that in another show. But yeah, like you're like, oh, right. Even if it was a road in that time period, it's not a road the way that we understand it to be now.
Absolutely. And Lacy, what are you writing about next?
Ooh, okay. So this next week is about smallpox.
So, okay, I got it. My dad and I don't know how I even remember this damn conversation. Actually, it was the first time I watched the John Adams show whenever I was like 9 or 10 years old when it first came out, was whenever they were showing how the vaccinations of smallpox worked back in the 1700s. Number one, I would have died right then and there if someone's cut my damn arm with whatever that was to stick smallpox. You could just go ahead and throw me out to pasture. I'll take it. Like, for real. I'm not doing it. But also, to really understand, like, this is really how the first form of advanced medicine really was. I mean, so amazing, because he's a microbiologist. So, like, it really fascinates him, too.
Your dad is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, he can come on. We can all talk about smallpox.
He teaches microbiology and does all the prerequisites for nursing at Lewis and Clark.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't realize that. That's really cool. Yeah, smallpox, like let's just set aside a whole show to talk about
Let's
smallpox.
do it. That would be well. It wouldn't be fun, but I need to clarify.
A lot of my articles are going to be a little bit morbid, so.
But it's a realness to it though, because again, people in today's climate, I don't think could have survived a week in the 1800s or any time period during that, because I mean, yellow fever, smallpox, you name it. You're gonna pretty much. There's a good chance you're dying.
Yeah, and if you're not dying, you're blinded, you're scarred. Like well, and I mean, we don't have natural immunities built up either, so that would be so much worse for us to go back, because we don't have smallpox vaccinations now because we don't need them. But yeah, so smallpox is next. Super interesting.
Does it tie in Smallpox Island? Is that a thing?
I didn't tie it into Smallpox Island because I was trying to keep a tight
gotcha.
story. But no, it was the next week, 100 years ago, Madison County had the highest number of new smallpox cases in the state. Yeah. So it's about how people reacted to that. And it was pretty interesting. Yeah.
Well, Lacy, I am very interested in that. While I have you, I don't know if you remember, but I told you I'd find this. The bar tab of the farewell party of George Washington, okay? Have you heard this one?
No.
54 bottles of Madeira, 60 bottles of claret, 8 bottles of whiskey, 22 bottles of porter, 8 bottles of hard cider, 12 of beer, and 7 bowls of alcoholic punch with 55 attendees.
55 attendees?
Yes, and I swear this is real. It cost around 89 pounds for all the alcohol.
How many of them died after that?
No wonder he stole all this stuff. He was drunk by the time he left that house.
Just grabbing everything.
So there you go. The first president of the United States, also the first individual of alcohol, I think, in this country. But there you go. So that would be about, for all of you at home keeping score and for Lacy, 2 bottles of wine, several shots, and a few cups of punch for every guest. Oh man, we'd be hurting tomorrow.
Yeah.
10:13, Lacy. I'm excited to see the smallpox article come out, and we got to set up are we doing Wednesdays?
That would be great.
Let's do Wednesdays.
Okay, Wednesday
Lacy
morning.
will be on now throughout whenever for Wednesdays, but we couldn't do this Wednesday because of the Juneteenth holiday, and Hayner's going to be off that day. I still got to go get my damn library card. I have it. It's waiting for me in the library. I got to just walk.
I wonder if I can just bring it to you next week.
Yeah, but I'd feel bad because it's right next door.
Yeah, I mean, it's
that's
like 3 minutes away.
Yeah, that's a me problem. At 10:13, we'll take a quick break, and our daily show continues right after this.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I. Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. 76, still playing well, too, you know? Man, I couldn't do anything at 27, you know, let alone... Welcome into our daily show and welcome back. The time is 10:18, and on Thursdays, you can go to Grove Memorial Park for Grafton's Music in the Park. This has been really cool. And now, if you've been living under a rock like I have this morning, you'd realize that there's already been 4 of these opportunities to go see him. And now Porch Cafe last week was a pretty good show, huh, Peg?
It was phenomenal. It was our first year for them, and in fact, when Music in the Park started, there were only 10 weeks.
Yeah.
When we took over, I had a couple bands that I really wanted to bring in, but I didn't want to cut anybody, so we added 2 more weeks. And then the same thing happened this year. I heard Porch Cafe, and I'm like, okay, I really want them, so I added 2 more weeks. And yeah, that's how it went. And luckily, our donors were very generous.
Well, and that's what I think's really unique about this. Fill me in on how this breaks down from how this is able to be put on, because folks at home don't realize sometimes that there's a cost to everything, and just like these events, there is a cost to them. And how do you guys use donors to rely or to support the series going forward?
When we took over 4 years ago, the budget was around $1,700 to $2,000. Yes.
Oh, wow.
And prior to us taking it, Carla Newton was in charge, and she did a great job bringing people in at a very low cost. And then the chamber, I believe, also put some extra money in. When we took over, I wanted to do a little more, and I knew that bands were getting a little pricier, plus they deserve it.
Right.
I mean, it's...
Costs are going up, gas, everything.
Well, and COVID killed them.
Yeah, well, you're right. It did just completely kill the industry.
It did, and there were a couple people that I supported on Facebook, live stuff, and so I wanted to make sure that we could offer a little bit more to the people that have been playing for us. So I just started reaching out. I'm very good at hounding people, and I would just get on Messenger. Any of the businesses in town, I would message, even in Jerseyville.
Let me ask you something, because this is something we've been talking about is, people are so nervous, I think, in today's world, my generation especially, to take a darn chance and just to ask. And my question is for you, was it hard for you to reach out to people, or is that something that came naturally? Because it is a little bit nerve-wracking at times to kind of put yourself out there and say, hey, we could use some help financially.
When we started, maybe a little, but I was a teacher coach.
Oh.
And so is my husband, and we did a lot of fundraising over the years for our sports teams. So it kind of came natural.
There you go. And you just have to do it, though.
Yes.
And it's really cool to see, though, so many people around the city of Grafton that come together and just support things. And there's no tighter camaraderie, I think, than within Grafton, honestly, for pretty much any event, regardless of what it is, especially for this, though.
Oh, exactly. And all of the money stays with Music in the Park or to make improvements. But I have to mention Andy Jackson is our chamber treasurer. Isn't he amazing? Yeah. He's been my right and left arm, giving me suggestions. He came up, I believe it was 2 years ago. A level system for donors, just for a little bit of encouragement. So we went from just a $500 donation and then a business donation to diamond donors.
Gotcha.
And then we have ruby and gold and on down. And business donors give around $100. All of it's tax deductible. But he came up with these levels to challenge people, and it worked.
Well, and you know what I think's cool, too, is the way that you guys are very, everyone, regardless of whether it's Music in the Park or the Memorial Wall of Ascent, we were talking with those folks, and it's just the way that everyone adapts and realizes, hey, we got to keep evolving here. It's either evolve or die, And so I was talking, and we were talking about the Ascent Wall, and I said, what would be great? Monthly donors, that would be wonderful, like $5, $10 a month. And, residents or anyone that goes to Music in the Park could do the same, maybe just stop by and say, hey, I can't give you the world, but I can give you something to say I appreciate all the entertainment you're providing.
And we do. We accept the weekly donations. Of course, 50-50 goes to our American flag. All of it goes to the American flag for maintenance.
Yep.
Whenever the flag gets a tear in it, it's $250 to repair it.
I never knew that.
And each flag is $2,500.
Oh.
When you have to replace it. So the chamber took responsibility for that, and because we're a chamber event, that was a no-brainer. We give it back, and it's helped, I believe, immensely.
Yeah.
The other thing that we do with 50-50 is we've given back to the community. When we started, we did senior dinners. We donated one night to the Dow Baptist Church when it had a fire, and 2 families who lost loved ones. We donated to them. So we're very community oriented. We want to give back. We're not trying to make a profit. Whatever we make, we put back.
Well, and that's what I think is really the coolest portion of the series itself, is the fact that you just hit it right on the head. Every bit of it's community. It's community when you're seeing families, regardless of how much money they have, able to go and enjoy a nice concert, out at a nice park, and really just enjoy a Thursday, and just enjoy with all the craziness going on in the world, regardless of what news channel you turn on, it's craziness, and the fact to know when you're going out to these things, if you do have the chance to put $5 or $10 or $15 or just know that, hey, there's a chance that this is supporting someone in the community, but it will definitely support the city of Grafton regardless of what it is. And if it's a family, the flag repair, which is the most beautiful portion, I think, of Grafton, is the flag right now. It's a huge community event, and that's what I think is so cool about everything y'all do.
Yes.
And,
yes.
Going forward, if you guys have a moment to stick around, I got to pay a quick bill here.
No problem.
10:25, I got to pay a quick bill, but let me do this real quick. A couple weeks ago, we were just at Village Dispensary as we were celebrating the grand opening, and let me fill you in. if you're looking for a stash that even makes Willie smile, you need to head on over to Village Dispensary. Their inventory is going to make you and even Matthew McConaughey in the Fast Times at Ridgemont High feel a little bit happier today. You know, when you go into Village Dispensary, your experience is elevated. And let me just be blunt about this. If you're looking for your pot of gold, it's right there at villagedispo.com. That's villagedispo.com, and don't forget to tell them that you know who sent you over their way.
Get paid to go solar. We're not solar bros. At Grid, we're solar pros. We explain the process behind solar power so you can make an informed decision. We'll work with you to make owning your power as simple as possible and affordable with zero down financing and payment options. Our only goal is to save you money. Call Grid when you're ready to be independent of the power company.
I had an amazing experience with Dr. Haug and her team. I came here when I was 10 years old to get my braces on. Now I'm 28 years old, braces off, and I get so many compliments on my smile. It's helped me thrive in my career as a news reporter, and also as Miss Missouri USA, I took the stage with confidence, knowing my smile was gonna make me look like $1 million. I've never felt better and more confident because of my smile.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they know your house is home base for their dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, ready? Future rocket scientist, or a budding prima ballerina. When you feel totally protected, your family's free to pursue their dreams. She's good.
Let's go.
American Family Insurance.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Rest my spirit if I can. Perhaps I may become a highwayman again. Or I may simply be a single drop of rain. But I will remain. I'll be back.
Welcome back, 1029. Little bit of change on this Monday morning, and I'm telling you all this. I am getting warm down here. I picked a bad day to wear pants, you know? It's getting a little muggy down here, but we got the coolness of music in the park that's keeping us going here. And now, coming back to Peg and Mike, now throughout the summer, we have a lot more opportunities to go out to Grove Memorial Park on a Thursday night. What time does the show start again?
The band start at 7
Okay.
to 9. Our daughter Nikki starts around 6:30. When we started this, I told her you have to be off work on Thursday nights to sing the national anthem because that was very important to me.
Yeah.
And so she started singing, and then she did some patriotic songs for the 4th of July, and then we had people requesting her. So
that's wonderful. That's
so
cool.
we just started having her sing before, and then when we do 50-50, we have a little break for the band, and she'll do a Disney break, sit down on the ground with the kids and sing right to the kids. And at the very end, her dad requested that she end the night with ABBA's Thank You for the Music.
That's cool.
So she
Really
does that
cool.
every week.
Well, and that's what I think's awesome about this too, is that there's so many connections and so much. What I think is just the legacy and histories. You know, the of having your daughter a part of it and having you guys basically as just a strong team. You know, with Mike, Peg, and then your daughter and everyone else.
It's very family oriented.
That's what I think's so cool, is from start to finish, and I think that's why it's so successful. The branding is 100% honest. It's not just here's the music in the park for families and here's X, Y, and Z.
Right.
It's very passionately tailor-made to be that Thursday night of a family atmosphere, and that's what I think makes it successful.
I like to think so.
Good.
I like to think so. Coming up this week, we have Trag Band.
Wonderful.
They were there
Wonderful.
before we took over. They were under a different name. Tanglefoot. Love them. Lots of instrumentals. Flip the Frog, which is a rock cover band. Last year, I asked Steve Pegram from Got Faith. Yes, I see that up there.
We love Steve Pegram
Steve
here.
is awesome. He is there every week with free stuff for the kids, water and lemonade. I asked him if there was anything he wanted, and he asked for a Christian night. So this was one of our other ads. We added the Gibson Girls.
They're great.
They're, yes.
Wonderful.
At Gospel and Vintage. Then we have Rockabilly Revival. That might have to be replaced because they lost a band member, but we'll see. We're holding out. Outlaw Opry, Steve
They're
Mellis.
cool.
Steve
They're
is
cool.
awesome. In fact, next week, Nikki will be gone for 2 weeks, and we have guest vocalists. We have our Diamond Donor, Don Mathenia, is going to do the anthem for us. He loves music and is very good. And then the following week, Steve's daughter, Sammy Jo, is going to do some music for us and sing the anthem. So we try to keep it local.
That's so cool.
In August 8th, we have the Owls, another popular group.
They are a good group.
Cricket and the Grilled Avocados.
They were good last year, weren't they?
They were, and we had so much fun with them. So much fun. And then we finish out the summer with one of our favorites, Trilogy, out of St. Louis. They play a lot at the loading dock. And they really did us well because their prices are usually a little higher. They cut it in about half.
That's cool.
To come in,
That's cool.
and so we make sure that we hold their tip jar up a lot. So, but that's rounding out. And then we do have possibly a bonus night. We haven't decided.
I heard of that, and we've been making suggestions on who this could be, okay? Now, hear me out. Here's what I think should happen at Grove Memorial Park, okay? The bonus night. Oh, it's this. Richard Simmons.
Oh, hey, we could
Let's sweat to the oldies,
we could.
you know?
We could sweat, yes. That's interesting.
Anyway, I always think we got to get Richard Simmons back out here, you know? Anyway, with that being said, what's the most joy you get out of the Thursday night? Is it being with your family? Is it seeing every other family coming in and being part of it? For you, seriously, joking aside, what does it for both of you that really makes this the icing on the cake?
When we get going and the music starts, I do live videos, but I also walk around and I take pictures. And I'll post maybe 25, 35 pictures of the people in the crowd. And I'll just walk around with my phone and I'll look at them and they'll wave at me and big smiles, and I just love it. I love seeing people with their coolers, with their picnic baskets. We have one guy that comes in, sets up a little table with cheese and crackers and wine.
He's got it figured out.
It's wonderful.
That would be me. That would be something I would do. That's cool.
I love that. And, you know, people bring their dogs, and I'll even take pictures of the dogs. The playground has now flourished. The city has put the new playground in. We've got more equipment coming, and it's just rewarding because a lot of these people will not necessarily come to town on weekends because it is so crowded. Or they don't want to bring kids. in to the bars or whatever. So this gives them music and all of that.
What I think's really a testament to is the work that's being put in by everyone inside Grafton. Because it's not, we're talking music in the park, but to really have what you guys have in Grafton isn't just a fluke where you go, oh, we just looked one day and we took a left and here we are, and all these people are here. It's a testament to the chamber, the mayor, who's wonderful.
Yes, he is.
To the business owners, to individuals that are in the community like both of you that are rolling up the sleeves and getting some work done. And you can't have success without the hard work and the number two, the passion to really do it too.
Grafton is definitely resilient through floods, through COVID. I mean, we could have just folded up and just packed up and left, and we did not.
Especially after 2019. That could have been very easy to do with that flood that lingered for 2 or 3 months, and you guys didn't. You guys hunkered down and got it done. And
yes.
That's what needs to be. And Mike, what's your thought? Do you have a favorite moment of a Thursday night for you?
Oh, I think just the whole night is just, we have our own spot that we set up, and a lot of family members come and sit there and enjoy the music and have a chance to see each other and visit a little bit in between the songs. So I can't say there's any one particular moment, but when Nikki sings the final song at the end of the night, that's
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, Nikki we lived in Fort Madison for several years.
Okay.
And Fort Madison had a fantastic choral director, and their whole choir was unbelievable. And Nikki was a big part of that. And that's the song that she sings at the end is the one that they always sang at the end of all of their performances. So it brings back great memories.
Yes.
And it's just...
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's really wonderful. And guys, just keep up the great work. And I don't know if Richard Simmons is going to be out there for that bonus state, but if he is, I think I can take credit. But
well, you better show up.
Grafton's...
Hey, don't put anything past this lady right
now. No, especially after all the developments and how much things have grown. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
We'll see you on Thursday nights at 7
7 for the band, 6:30 for Nikki.
6 p.m. Then actually start putting your chair down at 5:45 or 5:30.
They get there around 6 o'clock. That's when it starts.
Okay, so get there a little bit early.
Pick your spot and have dinner and a drink at one of the fine restaurants in Grafton.
And just enjoy the summer, and one of the best places to enjoy the summer at, and that's the city of Grafton. We'll make sure to link all of this in a write-up on RiverBender.com, but we'll see you on Thursday nights for Music in the Park at Grove Memorial Park.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I. Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Damn straight, you're killing me, man. You know I've always been your biggest fan. Now I can't even listen, 'cause I'll get to missing her, then the hurt gets worse. Damn straight, I used to love your songs, but now every time that one comes on, my heart gets broken half. But do I wish I could get her back? Damn straight.
I'm excited for Scotty McCreery. Coming to the Alton Amphitheater on August the 9th, and that commercial will be playing for you tomorrow. I'm excited for that one, too. I've been starting to do some commercials here. As you can see, I've been getting out of this funk the last couple of months that I've been in and having some good luck with it. Feeling positive. You know, what's also and kind of cool is just to be a part of it all. And if you guys have any events that you want me to broadcast live from, like I did at Juneteenth or Village Dispensary, give RiverBender.com a call and we'll see if we can set it up. You know, that is, some of those are cost prohibited, so just keep a note of that there is always an expense there. It's all right. Come get your purse. It's all good. I knew you were coming back. Come on in. It's all good. It's a live show. Forgot our purse. Music in the Park on Thursdays at 5:45. Get there 6 p.m. and then 7 p.m. music starts. See you later. Well, you know, on this date in history, in 1884, the first roller coaster in America opened. We already talked a little bit about that. But in 1965, one of my favorites, Like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan, and I know I'm going to get crucified for that one, released on this date in history. In 1963, in space exploration, Soviet cosmonaut Valentina Tereshkova, oh man, close, became the first woman in space, and that happened on this date in 1963. Whew! On this date in 1977, Leonid Brezhnev is elected Soviet president. In 1858, on this date in history for the United States, Abraham Lincoln warned that the United States of America is becoming a house divided, and the rest is history. On this date in art, literature, and film history, Charlie Chaplin married Anoa O'Neill in 1943. In 1903, one final one for you, the Ford Motor Company was incorporated on this date in history, on this date in music. Let's start with this one. Bruce Springsteen played his longest show, okay, when he turned in a 3-hour and 48-minute show, 32-song set at Estadio Santiago Bernabeu in Madrid. This surpassed the previous longest show on the 31st of December, 1980 at the Nassau Coliseum, when it clocked in at 3 hours and 43 minutes. So There you go. A computer hacker on this date in 2011 stole songs from Lady Gaga, Justin Timberlake, Leona Lewis, Kesha, and Mariah Carey during the 2009 and 2010, and now he was sentenced to 18 months of detention in Germany. A court heard how the teenager, who called himself DJ Stolen, rightfully so, earned more than 15,000 euros by breaking copyright laws and hijacking personal information from a number of singers. The 18-year-old used software to steal unpublished songs and then offer them for sale on the internet. Anti-piracy teams in the UK and Germany noticed a growing number of pre-sale tracks being leaked much earlier than normal. The teen was ordered to have therapy for an addiction to the internet as well. On this date in 2009, Billy Joel was, well, getting busy. His third wife, 27-year-old, by the way, Billy Joel, 60 at the time, married his third wife, 27-year-old Katie Lee Joel, announced that let me rephrase this. I'm reading the wrong lines here. I'm still tired from the weekend. And I didn't go out, by the way, just worked. 60-year-old Billy Joel and his third wife, 27-year-old Katie Lee Joel, announced that they were splitting up after nearly 5 years of marriage. Joel's 9-year reunion with model Christy Brinkley ended in 1994. His 9-year marriage to Elizabeth Weber, from whom he wrote Just the Way You Are, ended in 1982. It's believed that Billy had a prenuptial agreement to protect the millions his many hits have earned. In 2007, one of my favorites, the Traveling Wilburys, went to #1 on the UK album chart with Collection. The lineup of the Wilburys was George Harrison, Jeff Lynne, Roy Orbison, Tom Petty, and Bob Dylan. And my favorite song, one of them.
Well, it's all right, even if they say you're wrong.
Isn't that just such a great song? I mean, it's such an easy one, too. You know, one that doesn't offend, you know? Maybe? Okay. And I just think that Jeff Lynne is just amazing. In 2006, Shakira scored her first #1 hit in the, I'm okay with Shakira, honestly. Like I can give or take. You know, I mean, it's like obviously it's not. She's obviously not naturally talented. That's computer generated. But Shakira scored her first #1 hit in the United States with "Hips Don't Lie." It also broke the record for most played pop song in a single week when it was aired on American radio a total of 9,637 times. The song became a global success and a global headache, reaching #1 in 17 countries. Also, on this date in history, Anita Ward was at #1 on the UK singles chart with Ring My Bell, the only hit from the gospel singer from Memphis, making her a one-hit wonder. In 1978, Andy Gibb became the first solo artist in the history of the United States charts to have 3 releases. His first 3 releases reach #1. That's incredible. When Shadow Dancing hit the top of the chart, spending 7 weeks at #1, and became the best-selling single in the United States in 1978. And it had some competition, because You're the One That I Want by John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. It started a 9-week run at #1. It was the song from the film Grease. In 1977, after Jimmy Helms pulled out of the gig at the Shoreditch College, the members of the social committee decided to call upon a famous local, Elton John, who lived right up the road, and asked if he would perform. Elton John said he would, but there's a price: 2 bottles of wine. Man, could you imagine you could say, I got Elton John to play a show for us for 2 bottles of wine? Oh, man, that's wonderful. Hey, in 1973, Dolly Parton recorded the iconic I Will Always Love You in RCA's Studio B in Nashville, written for her one-time partner and mentor, Porter Wagner. The two were splitting professionally at the time. The song was later a worldwide hit for Whitney Houston, and it could have been for Elvis if Dolly Parton was not as smart as she was. She would have given it to him. Elvis's manager wanted half the rights to that song if Elvis recorded it, and Dolly Parton said, thank you, but no thank you, it's mine. In 1972, Don McLean had his first UK #1 single with the song Vincent, the song written about, of course, the 19th century artist Vincent van Gogh. In 1971, Carole King was at #1 on the U.S. album chart with Tapestry for the first of 15 consecutive weeks. The album contained It's Too Late, I Feel the Earth Move, Will You Love Me Tomorrow, and You've Got a Friend. Man, It's Too Late is such a great song. Yeah. All right, 1955, after a month of booking gigs in larger venues in Dallas and Houston, Colonel Tom Parker arranged a meeting with Elvis Presley's manager Bob Neal, resulting in an agreement that would, well, be the nail in the coffin that saw Colonel Tom Parker become Elvis Presley's manager. That happened in 1955. Born on this date in history, Kendrick Lamar, the hip-hop artist, and I believe he's the one that's feuding with Drake right now, and that's just kind of getting wonky. Born on this date in 1987. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to, oh man, not a lot of good ones. Barry Manilow. I'm seeing him in a few weeks. American singer-songwriter Barry Manilow, who had the 1975 #1 in the U.S. with Mandy, also wrote Could It Be Magic and Copacabana. Manilow has scored over 25 U.S. top 40s, selling over 75 million records worldwide. Had the 2006 U.S. #1 album, The Greatest Songs of the 50s. And there you go. That happened on this date in history. We'll take a quick pause. But before we do, I saw, didn't know if you guys saw or kind of paid attention, but, I never really do this. Can someone explain to me why our city council has to vote on what color the lights are? I just feel like, really, out of all the things we need to be voting on in city, can we have that in committee and just approve it? And I'm not complaining. It's no one's fault, and I'm not saying they're doing it wrong. And it's kind of monotonous to say that you have to go in and approve by council what color the bridge lights are going to be. I just feel like there's a lot more things going on in the world, in this city, that we need to kind of vote on and pass measures on that are other than bridge lights. And that's just me. But the last couple of days of reading how we're approving all of these colors, it's like, well, that's wonderful, but let's start approving things that we can fix infrastructure-wise. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know if that's the way it has to be, but is there a different way we can do these things? Because I don't know. It's just every Monday, or the last 2 Mondays, when you're reading about things being voted on and color schemes being voted on, I feel like those things are just things we can do and just say, hey, it looks great, let's go ahead and go through that, or that should just be a mayor-designated item. I don't know. What are your thoughts? 618-759-7469. Comment them on the Facebook Watch if you're watching too. Text them into me. But just curious, because my feeling on it is, let's just make it a certain color, and whatever color you want it. It's all cool either way. There's no bad, there's no good when it comes to, this. It's all 50-50 for me. I think it's great to do holiday colors and do all school colors, but I just don't understand the voting process. I feel like we could just go ahead and give a thumbs up and not waste 30 minutes in committee or at city council voting on these things. Let me know your thoughts on the comment line or on the Facebook Watch. We'll come back. Daily Show hits you on a Monday. Right after this on RiverBender.com.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car. I have a job. There's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey, Sherry.
Talk to me, Dream Team.
We've got Joey.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Bring it to me. Bring your sweet loving. Bring it on home to me. Yeah, 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 yeah. I know I laughed when you left, but now I know.
Already 90 degrees, and it ain't even 11 o'clock, 10:56, a little bit of change. But, I'm not trying to pick on it. I mean that. It wasn't a derogatory remark or one that, says he got you. I mean, I just don't understand it. I mean, we got a lot of other things we need to be voting on and need to have discussions on, including, safety downtown and including, roads and including, weeds and demolished houses and things. And I don't know. To vote on color schemes there's got to be a more efficient way to do this. Because if anyone's trying to complain on what color the bridge lights are, I got a plot of land to sell you in Florida, then you can have a lot worse problems on your hands. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just my thought on it. I mean, I don't know. And maybe I'm just groveling today. It's just something I've been on my mind because we got a lot more things to tackle, and we could use our resources more efficiently. Hey, at 10:57 and a little bit of change, and by the way, I think they're beautiful. I think, wonderful. They look great. And I have other thoughts on them that you already heard, but it has nothing to do with my thoughts on them. Just let's kind of fast pass this and let's keep moving down the road. Wanted to fill you in before I say goodbye today in Edwardsville that the Edwardsville Police Department announced on Friday that it's received numerous calls regarding abandoned or orphan fawns. And now, the department emphasized that the best course of action when encouraging a fawn to leave, when encountering a fawn, is to leave it undisturbed. The mama deer will eventually return, the department said. While cut, they are forgotten. They are not forgotten. Fawns stay very still to conceal themselves until they are old enough to keep up with their mother. So the mother will not stand near the fawns for fear of alerting predators to their presence. So just know and we get it, you're doing the right thing. You're trying to be caring people, and you are, and you're going out and seeing this baby deer. Just take a breath and know that the mom's probably around. The department's advice aims to educate the public on the natural behavior of deer and to prevent well-meaning residents from inadvertently causing harm to young animals. So just kind of keep note of that. If you see them, it's cool, but leave them alone. Don't touch them. Don't disturb them. And their mom will take care of them too. So just wanted to fill you in on that. But yeah, anyway, I wasn't trying to stir the pot or anything this morning. I just my thought, and it's just one that good text, and that we'll kind of wait and see what plays out. But all I know is that we're starting off the week with a good show. We got a great one tomorrow too. Coming up tomorrow, we're going to be chatting to some folks, including, but not limited to, we're going to be talking to Amy Swim Babies. Evelyn King has a book about Lucy's Playhouse we're going to learn about, and so much more. So on that note, time for me to say goodbye. See you tomorrow, live at 9 for more of our daily show. Until then, try your best to stay out of the sun, and like always, try your best to stay out of jail.
To the